Hi, everybody. Jared Jester here with Keller Williams Seven Hills Realty in Cincinnati, Ohio, also serving the Dayton market. And again, I want you to love where you live. This is part 3 in my video series, Start with the End in Mind, going over the termination points of the Cincinnati Dayton Area Board contract. And this termination point is the appraisal. This one's pretty quick and easy, so we're just going to jump right in. Quick reminder that terminations within this contract, they're unilateral. They're a one-way street. This form gets signed and boom, the contingency is not met. The contract is over. The appraisal is a buyer contingency. When a property is purchased, it's either cash / on the funding source, cash, or there's a lender backing it. Either can have an appraisal. 100% the lender side, a lender-backed loan is going to have an appraisal. They want to make sure that their investments are protected. A cash buyer has an opportunity to do an appraisal, but they don't have to because they determine the value and if it's worth it to them or not. So the language stated out here basically states just that right here, this blank, you have so many days as a buyer to get an appraisal completed. If you're a cash buyer, you fill that blank in. If you have a loan, then it's going to fall into the language behind that, and that is going to happen anyway. And there's no specific days dictating that. That's going to really fall into the financing contingency, which we covered in the last couple of videos, and the timeframes that follow that. Basically, though, what the whole thing is if there's an appraisal, if the appraisal does not value the property at the purchase price, then the buyer has an opportunity to terminate the deal. They don't have to terminate the deal. Now, if it's a lender-backed property, they're going to have to negotiate with the seller and say, okay, you bring your price down, or we come up to match your price. Now, in this market that we've been in, which has been a pretty hardcore seller's market with a lot of buyers scrambling for these properties, and prices are being pushed over asking price, there's some concern about some things appraising at value. And so what buyers have an opportunity to do, this is a strategy that can be used, is to bring cash to the table and commit to doing that during the offer stage and say, we will bring X number of dollars to the closing as an appraisal gap coverage guarantee. If the house doesn't appraise, we will make that coverage. Now, a buyer can put no cap on that. So if you're offering $300 and it's listed at $290 and it comes in at $280 appraised, then and you've got no cap at all on your appraisal coverage, then you've committed as a buyer to bring $20,000 to the table. Another strategy, though, would be to say, I'm going to bring a fixed amount to the table, $5,000, to cover any potential gap and try to make up that difference. And that can make a seller more comfortable accepting an offer. It's not a necessity, it's a strategy. And again, as a cash buyer, you can say, I want it appraised in X number of days. If it doesn't appraise, you could offer the same kind of thing. In my experience, I found a lot of cash buyers don't always get an appraisal. It's an added expense, maybe $500 or so to pay for an appraisal. And again, a buyer who's paying cash is like, well, I think it's worth this. I have the cash. I'm going to pay this whether it appraises or not, because I find the value in the home and that's the home that I want. So that's the appraisal. So we covered the necessity or non-necessity for an appraisal, kind of time frames involved with the appraisal, as well as some strategies involved with appraisal and appraisal gap coverage. So I hope you found this information useful. If I can be of more use to you, if you have questions, any need whatsoever regarding real estate, I'd love to be that resource for you. My name is Jared Jester, Keller Williams Seven Hills Realty in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I want you to love where you live. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video because we've got more to go. Talk to you then.